Hello. Welcome back to Boss Talk. It's your girl, Sean LeRae. And it is Wednesday and it is 6 o'clock. And so we are here. So I hope you all are out there enjoying a great week and a good hump day. We're almost halfway there. So if your week is great, just consider that you're halfway to a greater weekend. And if your week is kind of not so great, well, it's almost over. So feel good about that. So I am on week 3 of my back surgery recuperation, and I am doing fantastic. I'm still blown away. I'm blown away each and every day more and more by how amazing I feel. It is incredible. Like I had back surgery in 2003, and this is a very, very different experience. I have to tell you, although I was pretty blown away then too. I woke up and I could definitely tell at that time that the pain was very different. And I guarantee you it is very different again now. So if you are out there and you run a little late, like it's 6 o'clock, y'all need to be in here where you're at. Let's go. So I am really excited tonight because my guest is a new great friend whom I have had the pleasure of getting to know over a year in the pandemic virtually. And we actually have gotten the opportunity to meet in person actually twice. And so we'll tell you more about that when he comes on and you get to meet him. But as you know, tonight's show is about the color of nutrition. And when I think of things in color anyway, because that's just who I am, I'm a colorful girl. But the idea of nutrition being livened in color is really important to me. And the reason that I chose to name the show that this time is because this gentleman is someone who actually helped me to look at nutrition in a colorful way based on his program, which uses our metabolic codes to help us figure out the energy that we put out and how much energy we then need to put back in using nutrition. Who knew? I didn't understand a whole lot about what he was talking about, to tell you that. But what I did know is it tasted good and it worked. So those are the important things. So let me tell you a little bit about the man of the hour, Chef Nikko. So Chef Nikko is an author, and as a profession, he is a business and entrepreneur coach for over 26 years. And he helps CEOs and entrepreneurs live a more healthy, balanced life through business plans, economics, by charting where time affluency wants to go, layover, or settle in the business mind and bank account. And he does that with health in mind. So without another word from me, please welcome to Boss Talk, Chef Nikko.
Good day. How are you doing, Sean LeRae? It's a pleasure.
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, sir?
Oh, man, I'm vibrant. I'm upbeat. I feel good about today. It's good to be here.
Good to have you. Thank you. So, a business and entrepreneur coach. I like it. So, I always like to start by telling the audience how we met, how you and I came to know one another. So we first met, we first saw one another on a Zoom screen. Like, that is so much the story nowadays, post-pandemic, that a lot of people have met via Zoom. And although the pandemic was a tragic thing in so many ways, it did bring people together in a different kind of way. So I am grateful for that part of it. So we met on a sea of other beautiful faces. We call it the squares. We met in the squares with our coaching organization, our coaching group. Right. Yes, the Urban Excellence Institute. And we were the first cohort of her coaching academy.
Absolutely.
Which is now has been accredited with ICF.
Absolutely.
Woo-hoo. So shout out to Kim Anthony, who was actually my first guest on Boss Talk.
Look at this, full circles. I love this synergy.
We are full circle. And we met, I met Kim actually in the squares too, believe it or not. We were sort of, I was the behind the scenes MC and she was the front MC for my friend Michelle Moore Bell and my vice president of the Black Women's Network, indeed. But she has her own organization called the Wellness Group. And so Kim was her MC one year, and 2020, I'm pretty sure it was. And we met there and kind of loved and vibed off of one another's energy and vowed to reconnect. And we didn't. And then one day I thought, I need to call that lady. I called her about some nonprofit information. And then she said to me, if you know anybody who would love to be a part of a coaching program, we're doing one. And I was like, oh, wait, yes, I do know someone. Me.
There you go.
And so I immediately was interested. And then I spread the word and told Chantel and Gwendolyn, all of whom were part of our wonderful cohort. So we have a visitor. Who's that? Amanda G. Big Boss Run Teams. Yeah. I love it. Hello there. Welcome to Boss Talk. Good to have you. Is it Ananda or Amanda? Ananda. Oh, love that. Ananda. Well, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. So we got to know one another a little bit via the screen. I actually came in much later because, as you all know, we had the loss of my husband right when we were supposed to start the cohort. My husband passed on Tuesday. The cohort started on Thursday. But Kim was like, hey, we got you. And y'all did throughout the whole course of it all. So that was amazing. That's so amazing. Then you tell the second part, because I think it's hilarious.
I think it will. So, we get into this great conversation. We start talking about how we can start elevating you and making sure that you have a great transition with health and wellness and business and all of that. We get into the plan and we start moving forward, and through the conversation of finding out what your day-to-day time affluency is all about, I find out that you're heading to Trinidad to do a TED Talk, which has completely blown me away. And kudos to you on having that level of excellence. I definitely want to get to that level. So I want to be like you when I grow up. But but on your way back into New York, you had a layover in JFK. And
8 hours.
Outlandish time. It was like 3 or 4.5 hours. And you were just like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, that's nonsense. We're going to know exactly what to do.
8 hours. Okay, it was an 8-hour layover. Yes.
8-hour layover. That's right. So it was like, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to come hang out with me because I'm going to come pick you up. And we're just going to find some great time and spend some time talking in person. And then I'll make sure you get back to the airport safely and then back on to LA you go. And it was amazing to meet you the first time. Amazing to freaking meet you. It was so much fun. Yeah,
absolutely. I have to say, just when you get to know people and, especially no matter the circumstances, like we met under these, nouveau circumstances, new world, new times, right? So we met on the Zoom and, kind of got to know about one another through what we shared in learning about ourselves as we did in the class. And then all of a sudden, there's this opportunity to meet. But just what touched my heart, Nikko, was first of all, your willingness to say that and to offer that. And in the beginning, it was not just going to be me. It was going to be another woman who was going to the TEDx. Also, there were 2 of us from Los Angeles. She was going to go too. She ended up not going. Shout out to Cindy. But it then was just you and I. And so coming back in, it was like we had I had a 2.5, maybe 3 hours just trying to get out of customs coming back into New York. Right. And so there was that whole, I'll be landing at 10 o'clock when I actually got out of the airport about 12:30, 1 o'clock. But you diligently stayed there to hang and just have you were I had something and all that frustration to look forward to in the midst of all that chaos. It was like, yeah, but Nikko's here and I'm going to get out of here and we're going to hang out and have a good time. And
Yeah.
so just the heart to want to do that and to offer me that was so splendid to me. And I really appreciated that. And it made you even more dear to my heart.
I mean, we got to be real people. You know, I love my community. I love the fact that we can partner up and have some of these dynamic conversations. But, you know, the excellence in the square is only a certain percentage of life. When you go about making these type of real social connections, not only does it elevate a certain mindset, but in long term, it also elevates business. So, I mean, it helps in so many ways just to be of a giving mindset. Not everybody has that, but the practice is real. And I really enjoyed doing it. It was so much fun hanging out with you.
It really was. We had a good time. So, fast forward, we came to the time of our graduation.
Yes.
Yeah, which was plenty of splendid.
Oh my
We first had our Zoom graduation,
God.
right? And you and my girl Chantel were chosen to represent and carry the torch for the class and
Right.
speak. And we did the virtual graduation, which was great. But then when Kim said, "Hey, look, opportunity has come for us to actually do this and meet face to face and really graduate," and so that was what, July?
Yes, that was in July.
Yes. And you came to Cali.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was
Got to get
so
on
dope.
the best side.
Yeah, and you were the ones to come and greet us. And oh my goodness, beautiful Andrea was with
Yes.
Chantel. And we met outside the square the first time by me saying, "Excuse me, do you know if there's a concert up here?" When we were sitting in the zoo parking lot. And it turned out we looked and said, "Wait a minute. Hey."
Right. Right.
That was great.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So tell me, what made you, well, how did you even know? First of all, let me ask that. How did you learn about the Urban Excellence Institute and the coaching cohort and all of that?
Well, that's actually great that you say that. This was during a time where there was very little human connection. So all of us were making sure that we were in the room via Zoom or any other virtual platform. And I met Kim through the Los Angeles Black Business Expo, where she put on a dynamic PowerPoint display with paper because something happened on a tech scale and she couldn't do the PowerPoint the way she had it virtually. So she literally put up pieces of paper and broke out her full explanation through different pieces of paper. And I was blown away. Little did I know that I would actually be understanding more and developing this value with Kim through more coaching opportunities with the academy. But that's literally how it came about. I had a connection from a person that was in a circle that got that information. They sent it over to me. I got in conversation with Kim, and the rest is elevated history.
Wow. I
Yeah.
love that. You know, it's all about right place, right time, but it's
Mhm.
also like I love when God handpicked the people that will have the experience and the like-mindedness and the like, you know, connected heartness of it all. And I that's what I really, really appreciated about the cohort that we had and how everyone was vulnerable, everyone was kind and loving, and you know things you know we got to learn about ourselves in real time. And so I think that that was another like just great gift to have that, and then to be able to like get to know and connect with one another on all these other levels has been amazing.
You know,
So
that's so real because it's very challenging to take somebody else on or take on an aspect of your life, whether it's business, whether it's health, whether it's a personal goal, if you haven't learned to take yourself on. And we
yes.
learn that. We learn that boots to the ground in the field on how to make that happen, how to connect those dots, and then position ourselves to be greater, do better, and make that a lifestyle. And it's fantastic.
Yes, yes, yes. So as you joined the cohort, can you tell me where your business was now versus where it is now?
That's a really good question. At that point, there was an opportunity to say, I can lean on the time that I was a private celebrity chef, being that I have those contacts, and what can I do to continue to propel that culinary side of the business. But then at the end of the day, like just to springboard off of what you said, as far as God hand picks certain people, I realized that this was the time to actually extrapolate all that data, all of that research. And I started off by writing a book, which allowed me to land the plane on all of that information and then take that information and turn that into business coaching and entrepreneurship coaching, help out some other chefs and give them nutritional coaching and consulting, and literally add more value to the world. People, their things around us are kind of complicated, but a lot of us are really simple in our mind and in our heart. And it allowed that business to propel, explode another 200%. And that's when I was moving within the first cohort. So it just allowed me to realize, all right, take your time, understand that you have to nurture this. This isn't anything new, but you have to make sure that you're taking your time and develop these skills, these gifts, these talents, these abilities. And once you have that, then provide more to the community. And it took that bantering, and nobody really knew that. That's really slick that you kind of saw that in the first cohort, because nobody really knew what I was actually doing when I was having those conversations. But the moment the camera went off, I would compare how things were going with the first cohort to how business was acting, because these are the people that I were interacting with weekly, and I saw them as the general public. And what were they going through, creating that safe space for all of us. What was going on in your life? How was your heart? How was your balance? What was your gratitude? And now going back and seeing, okay, if I put a percentage to this type of mindset, and I got 22 mindsets like this, how can I touch more of the general public? How can I assist these CEOs and these entrepreneurs in elevating themselves? Yeah.
I love that. And it is true, even for myself as a therapist / coach, we were vulnerable. Everybody was vulnerable. We were real. Because after a while, you could no longer fake the funk, right? It was like you were right there up close and personal. There was no joke. It was just like, yeah, we see you. We see you. You know what I mean? And so as a therapist, I got to grow in my own healing, in my own understanding of self. And then for me, there was that tiny sliver that lives between what is coaching and what is therapy. And that's one of the main reasons I was there, is able to distinguish between the two, because I don't want them to bleed. You know what I mean? Right. If someone comes to me for therapy, then they need therapy. That means they need the healing, right? And the way I see it, I see the coaching piece as the movement post healing. Right. Doesn't mean that everything is all wrapped up in a nice little bow and good to go, but it means that you are in a place where you've gotten past the bleeding, you've gotten past the pain and the suffering, and now you're in a place of thriving. What's next?
Right.
And so for me, I wanted to make sure that when I was servicing people, that I was servicing them from the right area, right? So being in there, listening to people, listening to everyone's stories, listening to what did someone get? Like, what did Chef Nikko get out of this particular competency? What did he get out of this particular scenario? We read books, right? So what did he get from that book? And being able to say, so kind of like you, I was peeping people too, as human, like a human survey. What are people going through? What are they getting from this? What is it going to look like when I'm out there, doing this thing? So I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's kind of what time affluency is all about. It
Okay,
allows
time
you to.
affluence. So talk about that. What is that exactly? As
Okay,
you see.
so took a little time to study in Yale's business school, and this is where I learned, because I always had an understanding of time affluency, but I'm a data guy. So when I realized that this is a lot bigger than what most people think it is, most people have never even heard of this before. And
Mhm.
it's real simple. Time affluency, this is the feeling of having control and having enough time on an everyday basis. And that can promote a great level of productivity in the workplace, as well as promote natural happiness. There's other things, but at the end of the day, we all want to be happy and we all want to make more money. So understanding some of these unspoken rules to business is what allowed me to add more of a protocol and formula base to time affluency. Now we can code and chart this, and we can map out how long something is going to take so you can actually see the difference. And the beautiful thing is we're changing people's lives in 24 hours.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, look, we got a company. Hey, fam. Coach Nikko. Hey, bro, you looking sharp. That's Chantel, I think.
I bet. I appreciate you.
Facebook doing a weird thing and taking her name and picture off, but that is Shanny Shan. Y'all better talk that coach talk, get things done, y'all. Hey, girl, thanks for tuning in. So Chantal was a part of our cohort.
Right.
Amazing woman indeed, and now a woman of worth coach. Wow. There she is. She said, yes, it's me. Well,
Real
thank you
quick.
for tuning in, darling. So, so I love that what you're saying about the time affluency, because we always say time is money,
Correct.
right? And so now I feel like I'm getting a sense of what you're talking about when you're saying the way that you spend your time and how you're applying it to your business and your life, and all of that has to do with how affluent you can become actually in real time. I
Absolutely.
love.
We're talking
Hey,
about a.
good stuff. T Man out of Detroit says
Okay.
good stuff. That's my soror.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. You know, and that's the cool thing about time. Time can be a balance in certain ways. It can also create a lot of stress. It could also create a lot of inefficient work in the workplace. And this is
Mm-hmm.
where that balance, think about how many people you've bumped into or talked to in one day that say, I don't have enough time.
Good
That's a
Lord.
mindset that sets into the subconscious, and let that start rolling over into the subconscious. We got the average person got 60,000 thoughts in their subconscious, let alone if you're an elevated individual that's always working on something, you probably have 70 to 80,000
Yeah.
subconscious thoughts. But if you're plugging that, I don't have enough time, if you're plugging in certain levels of scarcity and mediocrity into your subconscious, when you
Ooh.
wake up the next day, guess what's going to be there? The brain doesn't know how to file it any other way. So, yeah,
And
time
guess
affluency is
what
where
just
it's at.
walked out the door? Time.
Right, right.
You
And this is
oh,
all while. Say it again.
I love that. I love that you're saying that if you speak, I don't have enough time, there's not enough hours in the day, I'll never get that done. And you go to sleep on that. When you wake up, you have already subtracted time from your life.
Literally,
Oh, I
literally.
love that.
And
Yes,
these formulas help you give back some of that youth that you think
yes.
that you lost, because there's ways of restoring that. A lot of people think that like this is like magic talk. No, there's ways of restoring that. Why? Because we're talking about a supercomputer, which is your brain that's holding all the electrical components of the body, but it's also governing how your heart is functioning. So mind and heart coherency play a big role in what it's like to even propel yourself to the title and language of generational wealth, community
Mm,
wealth. Like if you have any doubt in your mind, eventually that becomes the program. There's nothing wrong with being a little nervous and having some doubt. We all go through that. But if you perpetuate that, that cycle can
Yeah.
take you out. It can literally pull you right out of the process. So this is
Mm,
why time affluency is extremely important, not just for your growth mindset, but as well as your bank account. And
mm,
this is while you are staying at the cutting edge of your business,
of
because
everything
this
you
is how you kill the game. This way you can take on healthy, new, vibrant lifestyle goals. And this allows
mm,
you to live longer. It allows you
I,
to spend time with the people that you love and you care, so you can finally live that full expression of the life that you've always wanted, right?
yes. Now, let's see. Shen says Chef Nikko is way ahead of his time. He's dropping stuff that is going to resurface in 2030. The guy's a gold mine. I love it.
I love that.
Absolutely so. Absolutely so. Even now, just as I think about it, you're talking about um, just the mind as a computer. When you said that, all I could think about was, yeah, your mind is quite the computer indeed. That is so great. So I think that when you're talking about this time affluency and you're a business and entrepreneur coach, but you started out a celebrity chef.
Right.
So how did you marry it all?
Okay, so when it comes to celebrities, like before you even have the opportunity to even go in there and be the chef, there's quite a bit of paperwork. You're vetted pretty strong because you're entering into high net worth families' lifestyles. You have to sign
Mm,
NDA contracts. You have to make sure that you are that professional. And then at the
mm,
end of the day, once you're embedded into their life, it's not just, oh, I make food. No, it's, oh, okay, Lauren Hill, you need a particular food element to help with the vocal cords and keeping them calm and free of inflammation so you can get out there and kill the game. I get it.
mm,
Now, so when you start propelling other people's businesses, what you don't know. And as a chef, embedded and loving what I was doing at that point, if it wasn't for that handbrake that hit and everybody had to pick their head up and realize, wait a minute, we got to make a positive pivot because the world is about to get capped off with this language. Then you have a chance
mm,
to sit back and be like, you know what? What am I really doing? What is my purpose? Where is my
mm,
center? How am I paying attention? Have I been paying attention to what I'm doing? So, you know
mm,
what? Let me extrapolate all of this. Let me extrapolate 26 years. And so
mm.
many aha moments happened at that moment in time. And I'm a data guy, so it didn't take long to see it. And that's when I realized, okay,
Computer up there.
kept the computer charged, ready to go. And I actually saw it 2 weeks before it hit my East Coast when the pandemic news shut us down. I saw it two
Mm,
weeks beforehand. And I
wow.
literally started making the moves because I had data and research that showed, wait a minute, if it gets this serious, we're about to get shut down. Wait a minute.
Mm,
And like everybody else, that immediate nervous feeling of, oh, wait a minute, but my job is in front of people. My whole job is in front of people. And I got a mortgage, I got a lifestyle, I got a family. And instead of freaking out, I took some of that and I put it into such an unapologetic focus. And boom. Well, look
mm,
what happens if you were to just stay focused. So I took that whole, even after quantifying that, I took the moment of even me staying focused and realized, this is how people build multi-billion-dollar businesses. Well, now it's time to have
mhm.
some conversations with some billionaires. Let's go.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And things started happening. You started positioning and having these conversations and, going into more of the business side of what is it that I've actually been doing. And boom,
Mhm.
the rest is history.
Yes, I love it. What did Terry say? Nothing like being in tune with you and your surrounding environment. Absolutely. And I
Right.
love that, the big word, right, Terry and Chef, is pivot. How did you pivot during, the pandemic? And I think it's so important to actually, at this juncture where we are now, sort of post-pandemic-ish, right,
Mm,
is to really look at that, look around you, see your environment, and see how you pivoted, how this person pivoted, how that person pivoted, and then what's the new pivot? Like, what is the next thing? that we'll get to do. And I like to always say get to do, because otherwise I feel put upon, and I don't like feeling put upon. I like to make it be about my choices, right? So what is the next thing I get to do in the midst of all of this? And for me during the pandemic, it was like, what do I get to do? Well, I get to sit still. I don't like that, but there's some value to it. And every time I've not been able to sit still on my own, God has always figured out a way to have me sit still, hence back surgery. But but it's about learning in that space. Right. Now I have a new word, how to work my time affluency.
Yes. Yes.
So even to speak to something that my girl out there, Chantel, will absolutely relate to, because she is my partner in crime and good. We took a little visit to Palm Springs, 117 degrees, y'all. What? Yeah. We were inside most of that time, but what we did was we went there with tunnel vision to write. That was the goal behind, because we had our mind on the time affluency of it all. That was the purpose. It was tunnel vision time. It was for such a time as this. It was all of that. And we actually used our time in an affluent way. We spent 2 hours writing, take a break. 2 hours writing, take a break. Call DoorDash. Don't be going everywhere. You know what I mean? Like we hibernated pretty much in that space. And then with my having the surgery canceled and drama this and drama that, we got to go back.
Nice. Okay.
And stay some more. So I think that I'm getting you with this time affluency and how to make it work. It's like, like we do our bodies when we're working out. Beat it, make it your slave, make it do what you want it to do. And that's what we get to do with our time.
Right. That's really what it boils down to, because it's great that you asked me that question, because I felt like I didn't have a choice. When the pandemic hit, I asked myself one key question: is what you're doing in your business working? And the question came up, no. Why? Because I'm here to propel human life and make life better. And people right now, even while we're talking, are dying on my watch. That's why I go hard, because my community needs these formulas. They need the protocols, because it's not so much the information. We're in the information era. We got to know how. And we have to be able to outsource our experts and understand how this is, and not wait for it, because none of us want to wait. We're in a tech world where we hit a button, we get the satisfaction, we get a like, we get the dopamine satisfaction. So why would we wait for business in the same way? Why would we wait for our health in the same way? So that's kind of how it goes.
I like that. Yeah. Terry said, but it's through the stillness where you listen for God's guidance for you. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. So when you talk about that, the now thing, and how, think about, say even 10 years ago, or maybe 20 now, I don't remember. When was it DSL? And it was like slow downloading and all of that. And now we've got high speed internet and 5G and da. And if the computer glitches for 1 second, and there's like a millisecond of time that we have to wait before we connect, or if you dial the phone and it sits there and it says calling, and it hasn't gone boom, and you're not hello talking already, we're feeling the agita in our bodies, because we have allowed ourselves to get on this treadmill and this wheel of trying to keep it happening, trying to make it happen. And sometimes we have to slow down and let it happen. Right. And I think that's where also there's some connection to that time affluency thing, right? Where you can use it well, but maybe not this second, maybe in the next second, or when it's done cooking, right? Like the ideas cook, the energy cooks, it all has to cook. But if you take that pasta and eat it before it's ready, it ain't good. So okay, I'm getting you.
You know,
So,
it's funny that you say that.
oh, go ahead.
It's funny that you say that because anybody that sees their patients at the finest line when the loading circle is happening for a phone call or technology, that is a prime example to show all of us, whoever's going through that you are deficient in time affluency.
Okay.
That's how you can tell, because when it comes to polar opposites, you're on that side that is going through the stress of time instead of the other side where you're actually realizing, you know what, there's more than enough abundant time. I
Right.
just need to work on some of these skills and techniques and abilities to propel me, and that's what we offer our clients.
Sure. And I'm not in control.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's good not to be in
Yes,
control. You
yes,
know,
right.
that's a part of understanding it, knowing where you have the control and where it's okay to submit.
Hmm.
Completely okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. So let's talk metabolic coding.
My,
Mm.
oh, you okay? Don't threaten me with a good time.
Now, if y'all are anything like me, you're like, huh? What? Shani says, this is rich, y'all. You have to train your brain. It is the center of control over the entire body. It is, if it is not nourished well, we will suffer.
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
And speaking of nourishing, I think Chantel actually was a client of yours and has had the opportunity to experience your work in the nutrition area of this metabolic intake and metabolic coding and jewels and energy. And listen, y'all, I had a call with this guy and I was like, oh, uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then I was like, well, just look what I got to do. Because at this point, I understand nothing, but I know that they told me this is good stuff. So I just need to
Yeah.
know. So tell me what to do. All right. So talk about it. Tell us what this is about.
All right. So
Nutrition Fit. Is
basically,
that what it's called?
say it again.
Nutrition Fit. Nutrition Fit. That is that your program, or is that's your
Okay.
book? I know.
Nutrition Fit Only the Strong Survive is the book. The cool part about the different services and products that are provided is that it's all custom done. There's very little when it comes to averaging that
Mm-hmm.
works because we're all unique in every specific aspect of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So to say, "Oh, I learned this information," and you know, this is valid. I've learned this from a group of people. Now we can average this and say, "Well, this is what's recommended."
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't always allow you to propel to win because you're not average, you're unique. So when it
Right.
comes to understanding what is it in regards to coding and charting, after we understand the codes and the charts for your time affluency and how your business is propelling and how you're going to start making the particular six figures you want in a particular period of time, now we have to go into the other unspoken rule of business, which is your health. Your business is only going to be as vibrant as you are. Your business is
Absolutely.
only going to be as healthy as you are. And then you have to ask yourself, how healthy am I? And then
Mm-hmm.
actually do, you know, a little bit of reverse engineering based off of my health. Is this why my business has been this way? Or you can be making all the money in the world. Are you healthy enough to live with it and enjoy
Mm-hmm.
it with the people that you love? You know, so now we go into a deeper dive of coding and charting, and we start to understand what it is that's allowing our bodies to make these decisions. How are we connecting mind and heart coherency through nutrition? And like you said, you get me started, I'll have everybody in a tailspin because it's just how it is when you're a data person. You talk to a cryptocurrency guy and they'll run the same thing, and by the time it's done, you got a headache. You're just like, can you just tell me what coin to get? You know. So at the end of the day, we level all of this and we baseline it by providing a value of metabolic coding through colors. This way, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to worry about, oh, okay, this is the amount of energy that comes from this food, and I need to make sure that I have this type of element in my body every week. No, just make sure you focus on these colors. I'll take care of the food science. You
Yeah.
continue to have amazing tasting food.
Yeah.
And now it starts making sense. So that's how we do it.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
I remember talking with you about this just before I went to Trinidad, and you were giving me certain fruits and things to look for in Trinidad, and I was on a mission. I was like, "Do y'all have this?" And I was like, all the little street guys with the fruits and stuff. I was looking for things. I had dragon fruit. I had all these different kinds of things. And there's one I can't remember that you told me, but you know the name of it.
Soursop.
That was it. That's it. Say it
Yeah.
again.
Soursop.
Soursop.
Soursop
Yeah.
is a Caribbean, South American, Central American cancer fighting superfood.
Mm.
So when you have the opportunity to consume some of these superfoods, you're just going to have the most optimal level of performance in your body because
Hmm.
it's structured. We have to understand business is not the only thing that needs to be structured in order to make it in life. And here's
Yeah.
another really cool thing. The brain doesn't care if you're successful or not. The brain was engineered by God to make sure that you are safe and free
Hmm.
of threat. So
Mm.
whenever that safety or threat component gets hit, it doesn't matter whether you're in business, whether you're in personal, whether you're in relationship, you black out. This is
Mm.
why we need to have these certain levels of balances in the body, because if we're deficient in those chemicals, the body's going to pull from the only thing that it has, and that's the chemical composition in your muscles and the
Mm.
chemical composition in your bones. You keep that up for 20, 30 years. Watch what happens. Brittle
Hmm.
bones, deficient
Yeah.
muscles. And
Yes. Yes.
that
Yes.
then correlates to brain fog. And
Mm.
over a period of time, it can cascade into a few other troublesome things. But we want to make sure that we're balancing some of that by doing risk management now, because now is the new later.
Hey, I like that. I like
Mhm.
that a lot. Absolutely. Well, I love the marriage. I love the marriage of it all because we sometimes focus on this thing and we get so hyper focused on what's over here that we let all these other things, sort of fall by the wayside. And so it's it's a holistic process because it's about healing the whole person, the whole body, mind, body, spirit. And so as you're putting good things into your body, even on your body, and allowing good thoughts into your mindset, and focusing on not only what you say, but how you say it, what you take in, and all of those things, then I think then we get into the space of being fully and wholly and completely mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually sound. And so I love all of that. And I love how you've been able to marry that with the business aspect of it because I wish I knew the percentage of individuals that pivoted during the pandemic from a worker bee to an entrepreneur,
Right.
because just the idea of entrepreneurship can be daunting to someone. But if you look at it systemically and systematically, then I
Mhm.
think that there's a whole new rich way of viewing what the journey looks like, right? And
Mm.
so I love how it's all sort of you've put it together in such a way that you are a healer, as Chantel said, you are a nutritionist, you are a genius, but that's just a whole nother Oprah. But you do all of these things, but you bring it back
Right.
to to how we are going to live. We're going to live well by sustaining our health so that we can sustain and maintain our business. And I like it.
Wow, that's funny. That reminds me that I did a dynamic business plan for the NFL Retires Players Congress. And we raised, millions of dollars to make sure that this health and wellness platform was exactly the way it's going to be for them. And I didn't sell a thing. I just had a immediate conversation with the chairman of the NFL Retires Players Congress. And come to find out, we built our partnership because he was raised exactly how I was raised from his great grandfather in Haiti. And there you go. So
Uh,
just having a dynamic conversation and realizing that even this multi-billion-dollar entity, even though, you know, the healthy stuff or whatever it is you don't pay attention to, it's actually the back end of your business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Foundation, people, right? We have to have that. Absolutely. Hello, Diana. Thank you for tuning in. Coach Diana of I Am Coaching. She says this is a powerful teaching. 100%. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, who's that? Admin office says that's so powerful. Holistic success. Yes, indeed. Now, admin office, who is that? Type in your name.
Yeah. So
have a
who
feeling,
are you?
I have a feeling I'm thinking of who that might be.
Uh-huh.
You have an idea what I'm thinking, Nikko?
Yeah, when I see admin, I know what type of general that is stepping into the room.
Possibly that could be Darnisha Carter.
Mm.
That's who I think of when I think of admin as it pertains to us as a crew, and Darnisha being our captain.
I knew, no, I knew it was you. I knew it was, yep. That's why I said general. I was about to, I knew I had to salute.
There we go. Welcome, Kim Anthony of Urban Excellence Institute. Thank you for tuning in. Right. So good to see you. And as I mentioned, Kim was my first guest on Boss Talk. So we are very happy. So I think that, you know, Chef Nikko, the idea, first of all, I love the whole journey, the aspect of your journey, right? So you're this guy who has these ideas about healing and wellness and that sort of thing. And so then you start cooking for people who are high-end people who need the energy, who need the wellness to sustain in their careers, because these are celebrity people. A lot of output needs good input, right? So, okay, great. You start doing that, and then you say, there's a need. And you go from there to start thinking of what else these people need. And then you recognize, now tell me I'm on the right track. You recognize, but wait, these are not just the people who need this. They're doing well, they're already established, they're already in business, but let's consider those who have the potential to rise and what that journey might look like and how I can help them move in to those spaces of wellness that it will take, again, to sustain and maintain their business mindset, their business wellness. So I love the whole thing. Oh, Gigi's here. Gwendolyn Goodman says, hello, you too. Good teaching. Absolutely. Thank you, sis, for tuning in.
Yeah, you know, to land the plane on that, everybody may not know, but there's a gentleman by the name of W.B. Du Bois, and his major focus was the talented 10th.
Right.
That was my avenue for quite a long time. Taking care of high net worth celebrities, that's the talented 10th. But doesn't everybody else deserve to make money? Good money?
Be well.
Have happiness in their life. Have the time affluency to spend the time with their friends, family, and loved ones as they feel, whenever they feel. Okay, that's the magnificent 90. And we have to make sure that we support this community.
Wait, hold it. Wait. Hold up, wait a minute.
Bring it on back. Y'all don't know Charlotte Ray, my dance partner. That's a whole nother podcast.
That's all right. I love it. We sure did in Pasadena cut a rug.
Well, we took a piece of rug with us. We cut it so good.
That was awesome. So, and Kim says she's proud of us both. Thank you. So now that is really great. I love that's rich. The talented 10 and the magnificent 90.
Now, what does that bring? That brings us back to 100%. But if you keep moving with an expert like myself, we're going to transform into 120%. Because in time affluency, just in case something happens, you got that 20% to fall back on. If that goes away, you still at 100%. You got your piece. You still got your piece.
Loving it. Well, you know, I love the idea of the talented 10th, right? But that was very controversial back in the day, still is. But here's the thing, and this is what I love about the Urban Excellence Institute,
Right.
because I love the vision of creating excellence for that magnificent 90, right? And if you are so blessed and fortunate to fall within that talented 10th, there's a responsibility that goes with that. You don't just get to be fabulous because you are not fabulous because of you.
Right.
You are fabulous because of God and all those who followed God and in his understanding by, where's my hand? By pouring into you, right?
Yes.
To us, into the mass. And so that's why I love the Urban Excellence and the premise behind it and the power behind the message,
Yes.
that, like you said, yes, everyone deserves to be affluent and have affluence of health, wealth, time, all of that. And each one needs to teach one.
Right.
And that is how we will all succeed. And so the idea of the Urban Excellence, of taking those people who have had some opportunity to learn and to grow and to be introspective and take deeper dives into their own soul and their own psyche, and then come out ready to blossom, but drop those leaves onto everyone that you come into contact with. It's a responsibility. Fabulousness comes with accountability and responsibility. And what does fabulousness look like? It looks like wellness of mind, body, spirit. It's not about the clothes you wear. It's not about your hairstyle. It ain't about none of that. It's about your insights oozing out and spilling over onto those who have become your assignment.
Wow. Wow. You bring me back to a thought way in the beginning, not even a sidebar, just a thought on the fact that, if you quantify, and this is everybody, if you were to just quantify how much time you're spending on a social media platform that has already monetized your time affluency, please understand you might find yourself feeling a certain kind of way, because at the end of the day, you have given away so many millions of dollars to multiple business entities. And if you were to just take that, reverse engineer it, and give it to yourself, oh boy. And this is why the how, and this is why the formulas and the protocols are necessary, so we know where we're going. Because a lot of us didn't know, and a lot of us right now still don't know. Why is that? Because the how is missing from the equation. The full transparency of some of these clickbait opportunities that we see on multiple platforms are not giving the full transparency. So that part.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. And again, it is so easy to be sucked in.
Yeah.
Right? If you are not paying attention, and we must.
Absolutely.
We absolutely must.
That reminds me of helping out a particular individual lose 40 pounds off of their first program with me. And that was within the 60-day protocol. They didn't even get to the 90-day protocol. And they're already calling me and saying, I have energy that I need to make these business decisions during the work time. And I still have the cognitivity to go home, be that husband, be that father. This feels great. And this is what it's for. You do it for those reasons, so that not only the CEO or the entrepreneur, but the general public, everybody deserves the opportunity to see where they can further their own opportunity.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What did Gwendolyn say about that? She said, speak Sean LeRae for Urban Excellence Philosophy of the Talented 10th, taking responsibility to share their skills, talent, and abilities with the masses. Absolutely, Gwendolyn. Absolutely. And I love the whole idea of, like taking responsibility. We talk about giving back all the time. And people always say it, right? But what does it look like? Because a lot of times people want to give of tangible things, right? It's great to drop $1 million on a project or on something or whatever. But the truth about value doesn't have a dollar sign on it.
No.
It doesn't have a dollar sign on it.
No.
You can't touch it. You can't touch time. You can't touch love. You can't touch heart. Well, you could reach in there, but you know what I'm saying. But you get where I'm going with that. So there's some valuable things that don't have a price tag on them, and that's when you know that it's real and that it's beyond a speakable value.
Correct. I focus on the things that you cannot see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where things get very scary for people, because the world of unknown is not unpacked in our society to give it grace. Here's another quick thing to understand.
Hold it. Say that one more time. Say that one more time. I like that. The world. Say that again.
Okay, so the world that we live in does not give us the safe space to understand that the world of unknown is good. We can give that grace. Why is that? Because throughout this entire conversation, you, me, and everybody who's watching this, we're breathing. We never think within the seconds of us breathing that, oh my God, I'm not going to breathe again. We believe in the world of unknown that even 5 minutes, an hour from now, we're going to be breathing oxygen. That's a mindset. The brain is programmed for that mindset. So guess what, everybody? We have an actual formula. Now we have to extrapolate that formula into every other walk of life, because the unknown is where the present is. And if the more you stay present within yourself, the more you have the ability to build this mindset that allows you to control your world. Double down on you. Everybody else is taken.
I like that. Double down on you. Ooh, right. That's like a whole thing. That's a whole t-shirt like.
Yeah, that t-shirt like.
I love it. Well, listen, Chef, I'm so sad that we're running out of time, but want to do a couple things.
Okay.
I want to give you an opportunity to drop a final gem that you want people to walk away with tonight. They're walking away with tons of things. And if y'all don't know by now, when you come to Boss Talk, you need to bring a pad, a pen, a recorder, something. But you always can go back on Facebook or YouTube to revisit this with your pen and paper and write down some of the nuggets, because my guests are amazing. They always drop these boom, golden nuggets. So what is your final golden nugget that you want to leave with the Boss Talkers out there tonight?
Okay. And I love it. That's great. We're just going to wrap this all up. If we've learned nothing else during the pandemic, we've learned that your wealth is nothing without your health. You have to know the status of your health by associating yourself with experts, nutritional experts, business experts, to take on these formulas and these protocols, so you actually have the steps on how to make it happen. Extremely important. So if I were to offer to change your life in 24 hours, would you take me up on that offer? And if that's the case, see that name right there at the bottom? Just go to chefnikko.com. We'll have a dynamic deep dive. Get on my calendar and we'll position you to win. We'll partner up on whatever it is necessary and champion you into the future.
I love that. You heard it here first on Boss Talk. So, Chef Nikko, tell the people how they can reach you. And I'm going to go ahead and type it in the chat.
Okay. Well, by all means, go to chefnikko.com. Get on my calendar and we'll have a dynamic conversation. Outside of that, you can follow me at chef.nikko, which is the Instagram handle. And I would say that would be about it. I want to make sure that I am actually the person that you're going to speak to. I'm not one of those guys that say, here you go here, go there, and then you get one of my virtual assistants. I'm still that boots to the ground type of guy. So I want to make sure that, you don't have too many handles and you're bouncing around. You got what you need. Come talk to me. We're going to get you in a good position so you can understand how your business life can literally mirror your personal life and the wealth in the sense of health and wellness. It'll work, and I'll talk with you soon.
And it is. So T-Man said, drop the mic. So now I got the website, chefnikko.com. Get on the calendar to have a dynamic conversation. Now give me that IG again.
Yep. IG handle is chef.nikko.
Bam, chef.nikko. Boom.
Now, while we're in the process of that, you know what? Go pick yourself up the book. It is called Nutrition Fit, Only the Strong Survive. Literally, all you got to do is type it into any search engine and it will pop up. You can go about and buy that on Amazon. Very, very, very affordable cost. I made sure that I kept it at the price of the bag of hemp seeds, which is about $7.99. So it's not going to break a pocket, but it will exist and be applicable in regards to the information that you need to know to propel yourself and your nutrition for the next 100 years.
Only the strong survive on Amazon. Amazon and other platforms. Bam. All right, let me put that out there. So now y'all screenshot, get this stuff. You don't want to miss out on any of the gems that have been dropped by Chef Nikko tonight and in the future, because he is definitely a man of the future. So consider your own future wellness, your own future health and wealth. That includes mind, body, spirit, and your business. So mind your business. Holla at Chef Nikko. Gwendolyn said the world doesn't give us the safe space and grace for the unknown. The unknown is present. Chef Nikko, love it. Love it, love it. And I saw one more little thing I thought, because I want to hear from our people out there. Okay. I think that was the last comment. So thank you, Gwendolyn. Thank you, Terry Mann. Thank you, Ananda. Thank you, Miss Kim Anthony, for tuning in tonight. And any of those out there of you who are watching but are not commenting, I see y'all out there.
I think Ananda might be my niece. I really do. So if that's the case, shout out to family. If that's the case, I really think that Ananda's my niece, but I've never seen her handle on YouTube before. But even if that's the case, respect.
Gotta love it. Okay, fam. Peace. Listen, y'all. This has been another fantastic Boss Talk with Chef Nikko. You have the information there where you can find him. If you didn't get to take a picture of it, just go back and click on this link anytime that your time permits, within the realm of your time affluency, of course, and get that information. And we would love to see you back here next week. So we're trying to increase these numbers so that we can increase the love, so that we can increase the knowledge and the amazingness that we give out to the world here at Boss Talk. So that's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. That is you. But please share the well so that somebody else can be blessed. We love you. We will see you next week, 6 o'clock PST, 8 o'clock CST, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. That's where Chef Nikko is.
Yep.
So we love you and good night. Shalom, y'all.